and welcome. You are listening to At Home with Ifenu. Here, we'll talk about helping women know and understand their worth, find fulfillment in who they are, and in what they do. Every other week, we'll talk about your identity as a woman, discovering your unique purpose, intentionally raising the next generation, and your influence in homemaking. I am your host, Ifoma Nneka Omoni. Hello! Wow! 2022. We made it! Wow! It's a brand new year. I'm sure we are filled with expectations. I know last year so many things happened, but we are here today, forgetting those things that are behind us and looking forward. Yes. And today I have someone so special. Very special. Why? If not for her, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. God used her to make podcasting a reality to me. I have with me Tonbra Nwosuagwu, a beautiful, I don't know what to say. She's here with us today, and she's going to be sharing so much that's going to make 2022 an awesome year for every one of us listening. So I want you to just feel at home, get your water, your tea, or you might be driving to work or taking care of those beautiful children, wherever you are today. I want you to relax and enjoy yourself as you give us your listening ears. So with me today is call her the podcast queen, and she's very special to me because she's my teacher. Please let's welcome Tonbra Nwosuagwu.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me here with you today, and I'm super excited for this brand new year, this brand new opportunity, this blank slate. Wow. Let us just take a minute and just take that in. The fact that, we've stepped into a new year. And this year we can create whatever we want. Whatever we want, we can create. Isn't that just amazing?
Wow.
Exactly. Excited to be sat here with you, and happy to have this conversation. Well done for what you're doing. It's an honor to be on your platform, and I celebrate you for all the successes you've had so far and the successes that are yet to come.
Thank you, and I'm really elated to have you. So you are the best person to introduce yourself because you have so many sides to you. I know one very popular one is the podcast queen, but I know that you do more than the podcasting. So I'd like you to give us an introduction or give us a bio of yourself, something you would like our listeners to always remember when they hear your name. Who is Tonbra?
Oh, I love that. Who is Tonbra? So my name is Tonbra Nwosuagwu, and at heart, the one thing I want you to remember every time you think about me is I am a teacher.
I said it. She's my teacher.
But beyond podcasting, I teach in everything that I do. I think my life is I was really created for empowerment. I was created to help people level up, created to help people see themselves as, change perspectives, created to help people, manifest their higher selves, change the way they see the world, change the way they see themselves, change the way they see opportunities, help them understand that the world is theirs for the taking. That is who I am at heart. And I do this variety of ways. One of them is podcasting, because I believe that, there is a message on the inside of each and every one of us, and it is with us in our powers and within our gifts to amplify our voices. So that is why for me, I take that so personal, that side of me. I take it so important, because I believe that every single person has a message that the world must hear about. So I teach people how to podcast, how to own their voices, how to create platforms, how to have them give themselves, agency to be able to reach and cultivate a tribe of loyal listeners. That's what I do. On the other side, I'm a transformation coach as well, with a particular gift in helping people understand and leverage their unique identities. I help people see themselves for who God has created them to be. I help them really, really dig deep, and I teach through a number of ways. Self-mastery. I teach about understanding and defining your goals. I teach a number of things, and then in addition to that, also I'm a founder of the More Collective, which is like a mentoring group where I teach people. I do life with a select few women where we do life together. We do our goals. We do everything to help people just not feel alone. They say if you want to go far, you go with people. So that's what I do in that space. I'm also a podcast host. So beyond just teaching about podcasts, I host my own podcast show, which is called Created for Me, the podcast, and we're currently in our 63rd episode. It's a weekly show, and it's interviewed so many people. So you want to check that out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. And yes, at heart, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher.
So much to take in from that introduction, So Tonbra has so many things about her, and today's focus is not an accident because she has so much more in her, and she's going to be helping us to bring out more about ourselves. So apart from all what you've spoken about, what do you do to relax, to have fun? Are you always very serious?
I am very goofy. Trust me, I am very goofy. Okay, what do I do to chill? I love music. So music is a way to relax for me. Just put some music on, dance a little bit. I like to dance. I like to watch TV as well. I watch I hardly have time for it. So for me, every time I do it, it's like a real treat. Just put on a movie. Oh, I love movies, but I don't get to do it. Maybe once a week or once every other week I would watch a movie because I hardly have time. But I think those are probably my two pastimes for relaxing. But aside relaxing, I'm always learning. So you will always find me with earphones in my ears. I'm either listening to a message, I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm listening to a course. I'm always constantly reading, learning something, and just engaging with the world.
And that's why she says she's a teacher. So her life is about teaching in any way, in every way. So it's a brand new year, 2022. And many people start the new year with New Year resolutions, goals, plans. But maybe by the end of the first quarter, some people that high spirit they started the year with gradually fizzles out. And, they start wondering, is my life really worth it? Is there anything more to what I'm doing? Is there anything special about me? And that was why today's focus came to heart, tagged, I am more than this. So our listeners are just about to start. I remember you said something, it's a clean slate. Nothing has been written on 2022 for many of us yet. So I don't know how you are going to encourage our listeners, to be able to coast the waves that will come in 2022 and say, I am more than this.
Okay, all right then. I can definitely speak to that. The first thing, I want to say is, you see that word you used, coast the waves. You don't want to do that in 2022. Coasting means you are there and the wave is just taking you where you want, wherever it wants to take you.
So you don't really have control.
Have control. That is one of the most dangerous places to be. Yet at least 70% of the world's population are going to be there. And it's not speaking negative, but that's just the way it is. So what I am happy for you, listener, is that today you get an opportunity to hear something that is going to shape your year. And I want you to be very, very deliberate to take as much out of this conversation, because it is going to be one of the most pivotal things that you do this year that shapes your life. Okay. Posting is no. So what you want to do is design. And this is the power that every single human being has, but not everybody uses this power. You want to use the vision, the potential for visioning that is already on the inside of you, that God gave you, to sketch out your year. Write the vision. Make it plain so that he that readeth it may run with it. And somebody already is listening and saying, Tonbra, you don't even know my life. What vision? I don't even know how to vision. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But what I want to say with you is that it's better that you write something, however little bit aspirational it is, than you write nothing at all. Because when you write nothing at all, you become a contributor to somebody else's vision, whether or not you are aware of it.
The power of writing.
Yes. So if you do not know where you're going, you will follow somebody else to where they're going. And you will not know. Somebody will say, hey, let's watch this TV show. Hey, I'm going to Lagos today. Let's go together. Hey, we're going to this wedding. Hey, you lose the driving seat of your life.
Wow.
Dreaming is free. Nobody has a monopoly on their thoughts and the ability that they have to dream. Sit down and say, what does a good year look like for me? What are something? In fact, what I want you to do is a visualization exercise, and say to yourself, close your eyes and say, I am at December 2022.
Powerful.
What am I feeling? What am I feeling? What am I seeing in my life? What are the relationships that surround me? What am I doing for work? Dream, it's free. Don't hold yourself back. Dream. They say, what if you fall? There's that quote that says, oh, I don't want to take a chance. What if I fall? But what if you fly? If you don't dream, you are 100% guaranteed not to achieve it. But if you dream, you may achieve it. Wow.
The power of casting a vision and not coasting with the waves.
Cast a vision. Take your net and throw it out. I do a vision casting exercise with people in my mentoring group, and I say to them, cast a vision. Don't worry about who this thing. Cast a vision. It's better. In fact, the further out the vision and the more wild your visioner is, guess what? The more likely it is to elevate you. Because if you're casting a vision that is very, very wide, guess what? You're going to start walking harder to be able to meet the percentage of that vision. So it is in your interest to cast a big vision.
Don't limit yourself.
So now that's don't limit yourself. Cast a vision. That's the first thing that you do. The second thing that you do is now say, okay, I am at 2022 December. This is the vision that I see. Next thing, you start to walk backwards. So walk from your goal. Don't walk to your goal. Walk backwards from your goal to your reality. So you are already there. Walk backwards. What do you need to be doing in November for this to happen? What do I need to be doing in October for that to happen? What do I need to be doing in September? Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. I need to make an application by this time. I need to do this by this time. I need to have saved this amount of money by this time. I need to have done this for my children by this time. I need to write it down. Let me tell you, the biggest failure already starts by not writing. Right? When you now finish writing everything down, you look at it and say, okay, right now you've written from December back to January, right? So remember, start at the end, walk backwards. You are now back at January now, right?
Yeah.
The next thing you think about is, what are the habits that need to sustain me long term for this vision?
But Tonbra, most times by the middle of the year, things start becoming so difficult, and I'm not sure that I'll have the resources. I really want to do some programs. I don't have the money. How am I sure that all this planning and the big dreams, I can dream, but I found out that my dreams and my goals, they just remain on paper. They don't leave the paper.
The question I have for you is, how bad do you want it?
Wow.
Is it okay for you, if it's okay for you to give me that long speech that you just gave me now, and still be in the same place by July, and still be in the same place by December? If it's okay for you, then that's fine.
So you're telling me and my listeners that the choice is up to me.
It's up to you. It's up to you. There's no secret. There's no other way. Nobody will come and help you live that your vision. There's nobody.
So it will be like that man that stayed at that pool for 38 years or so, and he kept saying, there's nobody to put me inside this water. Before I know what, somebody has jumped in. Before I know what, somebody kicked me. Before I know.
It's exactly as you say. There is nobody. So it's up to you. You can have an incredible year, or you can start the year by saying, look, I am not sure. The other years, 2021 was, not a good year. So by February, I usually forget all the goals that I write and all of that. But anyway, I have something else that I want to suggest, right? A lot of times people say this, by February, I forget, blah, 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 blah. Couple of things that will help. The first thing is, don't be the only one who knows your goals.
So I need to be accountable.
Don't be the only person who knows your goals. Don't write that vision and keep it under your bed. You have to have accountability partners and says, this is what I'm trying to do. I want you to look at it and I want you to hold me accountable. That's number one. Number two, have checkpoints. When you are running, right? Don't run a marathon from January to December and wonder why you got tired.
I must have milestones,
You must have milestones. You must have breaking points. So if you want, you can divide your year into quarters. If you know that quarters is even still too much, by the time you get to the end of the quarter, you're already tired and you're not doing anything. Just 2 months. 1 month. I want to share this, you can live your life in a cyclical form. So the easiest way, what I'm speaking about will help you in the way it would help you is have a singular focus per month.
Okay.
Because the biggest problem we have as human beings is distractions.
So we want to do
So
too much.
when we do too much, so when the devil wants to railroad you, he doesn't necessarily, send a lion to come and no. He just puts another goal in front of you. And instantly you lose track.
That seemingly is a good one, but is a distraction.
Yes, it's a distraction. So now, instead of focusing on one thing, you're focusing on two things. So your attention is diluted. So you're not running fast. Who can run in two different directions at the same time? So if you want to see the biggest elevation gains in your life in this year, use this principle of singular focus.
Singular focus. Wow.
Say, I will do one thing that is going to incrementally increase me per year, per month. Right?
Yeah.
One thing that's going to add to me, one thing that is going to increase my territory. And by territory, I mean what your core competencies are. Increase your knowledge, what you know. Increase your mastery, increase your level of understanding of, core subject matter expertise. Increase that thing. Or you say, you know what? One of my goals in this year is to raise my profile, is to increase my influence, is to help people. I call it doing. So the first one was being, increase your territory. The second one is increase your influence, and increasing your influence is doing. Doing might be things that projects for different people or something. Just pick one thing. In this month, this is going to be my core focus.
So let my eye be single.
Let my eye be single.
Wow.
Increase your economy. That's the third strand that you can increase your economy. And when I talk about economy, your personal economy is your net worth. Say this month, what I am thinking about doing right now is how I'm going to get X amount of money. This is what I'm going to do to be able to get it. So if you think that's, and you might say, 1 month is not a very long time. What can I achieve in a month? You'll be surprised. Don't despise the small beginnings. In the beginning, you might look like you're moving slowly, right? But what you are actually doing is you are increasing your discipline to achieve greater outcomes in the future. You are disciplining your mind. You're bringing your body under subjection to say, this body, this mind is my own. You are teaching yourself to listen to yourself. A lot of people can't listen to themselves. You cannot call yourself and say, sit down here. This is what I want you to do. A lot of people don't have self-discipline.
So for me to be more than this, I must be self-disciplined.
You must be self-disciplined. Some people are going to say, I'm going to take on a book project. Some people are going to say, for this month, I'm going to read this, I'm going to write this, or I'm going to read this book. Some people are going to say, for this month, I'm going to, have this many interviews for this. So pick one thing that is going to be your area of increase per month. If you do that consistently, by the end of the year, you'll be amazed. Amazed.
Wow.
And it breaks it up. It doesn't make it monotonous. So where the person, the example we're speaking about earlier, the person's like, by February, I'm already tired. When you are applying this principle of singular focus, it gets more exciting because every time you're picking up,
you're looking forward to something different. Wow. There's something about your story or your message to people for them to achieve more. and it says that you help people make better decisions about what they accept about themselves. And this desire was birthed from your personal story of overcoming adversity in childhood. And that has really been a long time. So, would you share with our listeners how you were able to overcome adversity, that has helped you maintain self-discipline and mastery over time to become who you are? Because definitely you have been more than what you were over the years. So I believe your experiences would challenge us and inspire us to forge ahead, even in this new year.
Fantastic. That's a really great question. Thank you for asking it. So when I was young, and I'm not going into the details of the story, but when I was young, I was, due to things that happened in my childhood, my mother and father, I was in boarding school at a really young age. I was about 5 years old when I was in boarding school. So that really, really did a lot to me because I didn't really understand why. I felt like I wasn't wanted. I felt like there was no place for me in this world. Right? That's how I felt. And then when I was 6.5 years old, I started living with my mother. My mother dropped me off to live with my dad. So my mother left again. I just kind of felt like, you know what? Why, what is going on? There must be something about me. That's why people just don't want me around them, And I didn't realize how much that impacted me until I was growing up. I realized that I suffered from a lot of self-confidence, self-worth issues. I would always think that the next person is better than me. I would always think the next person can speak better than me. The next person can. I would always put myself down. And how that manifested for me was in self-sabotage. And self-sabotage is so subtle that you will not even know that it's self-sabotage. Like you don't want to put yourself up for opportunities. When somebody says, if I apply for this now, you say, me, is it the kind of me that they're looking for there? I beg. That's self-sabotage. You've killed the opportunity. Remember what I said earlier? You won't. You try. You know what I was saying, that you what if I fall, but what if I fly? But when you don't even give yourself the opportunity, you have 100% certain that you will fall. You don't give yourself the opportunity. So that's what I was. I was just this cocktail of self-doubt, cocktail of lacking confidence, lacking assurance in who I was and who God had created me to be. And then I started realizing one day, and I think, and that is where coaches help. And I always say this to people. I know on Instagram, there's so many coaches. And it's like, what are these people doing? I'm telling you, if you are sitting down and you want a different outlook, if you want something different, you've got to try something different.
Wow.
If you've never tried on a coach, or it's something that you want to consider, because that was my starting point. I just went to a coach, and instantly they started breaking these mindset blocks that I had. So this Tonbra that you're seeing, that is, confident, speaking, and all of this just started in the last, let me say, less than 2 years.
Wow.
Yes, less than 2 years, about 18 months. About
when COVID hit?
Yes, it was just about when COVID hit.
Wow.
I saw a coach, and she just broke down all my limiting beliefs, broke down everything, self-doubt, helped me with my worthiness issues. And guess what? As I came out on the other side, the first thing I thought to myself was like, there are other people like me, who I used to be, who need to find their voice, who need to find their beliefs, who need to understand that they have a message within them, who need to believe in themselves again. And that's how I became an evangelist.
Wow.
That's how I became an evangelist in this work that I do. And you see me like this, and you don't understand. You think, oh, this is how I was born. No. You who are listening to me, you can be like me as well. You can be like me as well. That literally, all you just need is, sometimes we need people to pull us out. And that was what
discover ourselves.
And discover ourselves. And that's what I do. I run identity mastery programs to help people understand who they are. I run all sorts of programs just to help people to pull them out. The more that are pulled out, the more the world will be a better place. Because we have too many lights that are hidden in darkness, while darkness continues to run riot in the world. We need more lights to come out of the bushel.
So there's a group of people, and they're actually women. Sorry to say. I noticed that many of us women, we really fall into this category you just described, not sure of who we are. Am I really more than this? Many women are feeling that, what good can come out of me? And many people that fall into this group are like homemakers. They feel that, what am I doing? I'm just nursing children, making meals, shopping for the house. There's nothing extraordinary about me. So you find that many of us women, we wallow in self-pity, identity crisis. And like you said, even when we have the opportunity, we have different seasons in our lives. So even when we've left that season of nursing young children, and the children have grown up, so we are now stuck in that place where it's like, what do I do next? Because we've not really been thinking that this season will pass and there's more to my life than what I'm currently doing. It's just a season. So how can women start preparing themselves, if they find themselves in a place where they know that, okay, this is what I'm doing for today, but my life doesn't end here, and my worth and identity is not by the label that people call me or what I'm doing currently. How can they evolve? How can they move out, successfully? Because it's like when they get to that stage, they are just, I don't know what next to do. So they're just like that. And some of them don't successfully move ahead. So what will you say to that category of people, particularly women in that group?
So the thing that comes to mind as you're speaking instantly for me is I can see the imagery of a ladder. And what's beautiful about a ladder is that it's different steps. So what that means is that no matter which step that you are on, there's going to be people that you can pull up the ladder. People that are ahead of you that can pull you up, and people below you that you can pull up as well. So you who are sitting down thinking that, what am I even doing? What is my contribution? There are some people that in that your own state, you can pull up.
Yeah.
And you will always find purpose and fulfillment in the place of service.
You always
so if you
find
can purpose and fulfillment in the place of service. So if you can ask, what you have is actually a creativity problem, not it's a creativity problem, because you cannot open your eyes widely enough to see the opportunities for service around you. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, there are gifts inside of you that belong to other people, and those people are around you. So if you can come out of yourself and stop thinking about myself, or what am I, my. Instead, turn that around and say, how can I be a blessing around? Who are the other children that God has given me? I have only 2 children myself personally in my life, but I have so many children. I have so many children. I have children that are even older than me.
Wow.
Yes. Because it's not about age. It's about that ladder. I've gone ahead of them. I can see things better than them from my perspective. So I can pull them up. So what you need to understand is understand your position on that your ladder. Own it. Look out for the children that you have been given that are beyond just the people in your house. Who else have you been called to save? Who else have you been called to minister to? Who else have you been called to write to? Who else have you been called to teach? There will always be something that you can do. If you go, you will always see people that don't have. Young people that need mentoring. It's not only people in the office that can mentor people. You can mentor them as well. You can mentor people on homemaking. You can mentor people on motherhood. Is that not what you're doing here? You're mentoring people. That's what you're doing on the podcast. You're mentoring people on, being a good homemaker, having self-worth. That's what you found your place on the ladder. And you're using it to pull people up. You have children who listen to your podcast every week.
Yeah.
Every other week when you release it. So every single person has something. Your job is to ask for creativity, ask for eyes that see the opportunities, the possibilities, so that you can be a true blessing to the world. When you sit down in downcast, me, I'm not happy, you will continue to not be happy.
So what you're telling us is that for us to bring out that more in us, it's about service. It's about seeing beyond myself, because there are always people that will always need something that I already have, and not to look down on where I am today, because that experience will be beneficial to even people that haven't gotten to where I am today. So that's what can bring that more in us. So bringing out this is that I'm more than this is beyond me. So you're looking more out for others to bring them into the fold. That is really how our lives can be more than what it is.
That is it. Let me drop this, before we, move on from this point, is what I always say to a lot of people. They say to me, "Oh, Tonbra, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't feel I am adding anything to the world. I'm looking for my purpose, looking for it every day, looking." I stop them and I say, "I know your purpose." They say, "Oh, why? What do you mean?" I know. I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Because God gave all of us the same purpose. We all have the same. Jesus Christ gave all of it. When He says, 'Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men,' that's our collective purpose. Whatever you do, you're fishing men. We are fishermen."
But let's be sure we are fishing men to the right side.
Exactly. Fishing men to the right side. Fishing men and showing people the way. That's what we're doing. That's our collective purpose. So whether I do it, whether I'm teaching on a podcast, or I do it whether at work, or I'm doing it wherever you are, you do it whether you're at home, in a business, that's what we're doing. We are all lights showing people the way. So every single person already has, you who are listening to me, you already have a goal for this year. How can I get people into my boat? How can I get people into my boat so that I can show them the way? That if you start there, you've done more than enough.
We can go on and on and on and on and on. So before we let our guests and our podcast queen and our transformational coach of the More Collective, she has so many sides to her, and in summary, she's just trying to tell us that it's all about service, and you can actually create 2022 right now by getting to December 2022 and walking back, by having accountability partners, by casting the vision, not coasting with the waves, by not doing too many things at the same time. I want to write a book, I want to do this, your friend is doing this, you look at her and follow her, you say, that thing will be good though, not being easily distracted. So I just want you to give us two very important things our listeners should not forget. Even if they forget every other thing, that should be reoccurring in their hearts as we go through 2022. what are those 2 nuggets you would like to drop?
Okay. The first one that I want to drop to you is that the message that you have heard today, you have heard it for a reason. There's the reason why this message has come to you. There's a reason why I was invited to this podcast, and there is a reason why you are listening to it, because it's not everybody in the world that will listen to this podcast, but you have been chosen, hand-selected to listen to this message for a reason. So what I want you to remember is that this year is yours for the taking. This year that we're in is yours for the taking. It really, truly is a blank slate. You can design it, or you can fall into somebody else's design for their own world. Or you can be at the helm of your affairs and design what you want to see. Right? The second thing I want you to remember is we will all give account for the time that we spend here on earth. You cannot change the past, but you can create the future. So starting now today, live with that consciousness in your heart that every single day this year, tick, 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 tick. Your life is a countdown. Life is a countdown. We're not counting up. You know, the world has made us believe, and this is something that my mentor, Fela Durotoye, says a lot. He says that the world makes you believe that
you have so much.
You're counting up your age. Today you're 40, tomorrow you're 41. But you'd forget that what you're actually doing is a countdown to the day that you are no more. So, on that basis, make sure that you make every single minute, every single second of 2022 count, because it's an investment that has been made in you. There's a reason why you are alive and you're not dead. There's a reason why you have breath in your lungs. So make sure you're using it, you're squeezing all of the life out of it. Don't go through 2022 living below your capacity. Maximize every single thing that there is in you. Dream wild dreams. That if you dream a dream that you tell your accountability partner, the person says, "Oh, this is okay. It's not big enough. It's not big enough." Let them say, calm down now. That is where you know you have started.
So that the net of the fish will be tearing the net. As in, when you have that big catch, you know yourself we should cast it. So by the time we are trying to drag the net.
Cast a big vision. Because it's better to cast a big vision and to get 50% of it than to cast a tiny vision and to get 100% of it.
Wow, that's a unique dimension to that. Cast a small one and get 100% of that small. And in that way, we can't be more than this. So if we want more than this, we need to cast a big one beyond our imagination. Something that's...
I know that you asked me for 2, but the last one is be dissatisfied with where you are.
Wow.
Be dissatisfied. Let there be a radical hunger in you for more. I want you to be radically chasing after your own elevation. You deserve it. You deserve it. Say, what could the nth version of me look like, and chase it? What could that exponential version of me, exponential version of Tom she look like? What does she do? What time does she wake up in the morning? What kind of things does she eat? Does she exercise? Is she going to work? Who are the people around her? And write it down and chase it. Chase it. Chase. You cannot be who you have not seen. You must catch a vision of yourself before you can become it. Catch a vision and become it.
Wow. I was smiling as she was saying that last part. You cannot be what you have not envisioned, what you haven't seen. I know I'm smiling. Before I became a podcaster, January of 2021, I think I was washing, and suddenly I saw myself speaking, but I didn't know whether I was speaking in front of a church or what, but I just knew I was speaking to an audience. That was January of 2021. And I started podcasting September 2021. So when she said that, because that picture stuck to my head, I was like, but I didn't know how it would happen. But I just saw that very soon I'm going to be speaking to people. I really didn't know the platform it would come or how it would be. I was thinking, would it be YouTube? I don't know. And things interestingly happened during the course of the year. But when this option of the podcast came, I remembered that picture of January 2021. So when she said it just now, I was smiling because indeed, you really need to see that picture before it becomes a reality. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was really refreshing having you on our show today. And we definitely know that you'll be coming back again. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of testimonials to share of the more version of our lives. 2022.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
Thank you. We really appreciate you. Welcome. But before you go, I'd like you to just share your social media handles, how our listeners can follow you, and then some of your programs that would also help us to actually be more in 2022.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so glad for this conversation, and I'm thankful for you who have heard it, and I know that you're going to be better as a result of it. In terms of where you can find me, Tonbra Nwosuagwu, Tonbra Tonbra Nwosuagwu Nwosuagwu. That's what I am on Instagram, Tonbra.Nwosuagwu. I'm also on a website, tonbra.com, Tonbra. I'm on YouTube, Tonbra TV. I'm on my podcast, Created for More, the podcast, where you can find me. But a couple of interesting things are happening this month. I'm releasing my first book.
Wow.
Yes. Releasing my first book in January.
Wow.
It's called The Unscathed Life. I'm having remember what I told you? Write down the goals for the year. So I've scripted out my 2022 already. In February, I have a summit called Created for More, the summit that is happening, and I have a program launching in March, which is called VGAP. So it's called the Voyage to Growth Accountability Program. And on this program, it's a self-mastery program where I teach a lot of these principles that I shared here today. But not only that, I also get to voyage with people. So what I do on that program is part of it is teaching, and then part of it is us setting those goals and living that monthly elevation together. So we do what I call 3 voyages. So 1 month we decide what we're going to achieve that month. We all do it together as a group. Next month and the month after. So that's it. It's a great program. It's a 6-month program. It's called Voyage VGAP, Voyage to Growth Accountability Program. But sort of like the one that is probably the easiest way to kind of get into my ecosystem is if you join my More Collective. And what More Collective is a group of people who are just dissatisfied with just being there. Know that there's more in them, and they want to be in a company of go-getters. to be able to catalyze their own growth. So in the More Collective, we have monthly masterclasses on growth, talking about different growth areas. We also, in the More Collective, we have book reviews. We read a book a month, and we have every week we review the book together jointly in our Telegram group. We talk about what we're reading, blah 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 blah. So it's a very dynamic group, and then we also do weekly goal setting. So every week we have a system. Everybody sends in their goals on Fridays. On Mondays, you send in your goal by Friday. We ask you, how did you do your goals? So it gets you into this discipline of asking yourself for things. One of the problems that a lot of us have is that we never ask ourselves for anything. We just stay the coasting. But when I ask myself for something, is saying, you know what am I going to do this week? You check yourself. So if you know that you are writing down 3 things, and the only 3 things I ask of people, I don't want you to do 100 things. What 3 things are you going to do this week? If you focus on that 3 things, and it's the principle of singular focus, focus on those just 3 small things that you just want to grow in, right? You know that somebody is going to ask you the question, how did you do on these 3 things by Friday? Guess what? Your mind is going to be thinking, by Thursday you'll be shaking. So that's how you... But the problem is that you don't ask yourself for anything. So but you have no accountability, nothing. So every week looks the same for you. Every single week looks the same.
Wow.
And that's what you want to stand against. You want to force yourself to produce results.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure very soon many of our listeners will be joining you. It's really been an exciting episode with you on our show, and I really appreciate your coming. Like I said, once my teacher, always my teacher, and I know that more and more are going to come out even from you. Thank you.
Amen.
Thanks for joining us this week on At Home with Ifeno. Check us out on Instagram at Ifeno17. As always, subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh content. See you next in 2 weeks' time.